You know you can stay in stunning homes across Mount Hood, the coast, Central Oregon, all of our state's beautiful landscapes, and save over 5 to 15% by just going through a local business? Cascadia Getaways is Oregon-owned and operated by locals who love this state as much as you do. Visit CascadiaGetaways.com to book your next trip or partner with their team. That's CascadiaGetaways.com.
You can make a difference in someone's life, including your own, with a job in home care. These jobs offer flexible schedules, healthcare, retirement options, and free training. They also provide paid time off and opportunities for overtime. Visit OregonHomeCareJobs.com to learn more and apply. That's OregonHomeCareJobs.com.
Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about the first signs of local fallout from federal Medicaid cuts, the triumphant return of Damian Lillard to the Portland Trailblazers, the impending closure of a Northeast Portland Fred Meyer store, and should rental units be required to have AC? Plus, we're digging into our listener mailbag. Joining me for this midweek news roundup is our very own senior producer, Giulia Fiaoni. It's Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm John Notarianni in for Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our midweek roundup. Giulia, thanks for joining me this morning.
Good morning.
So for today's midweek microdose of news, we're bringing back something we've done a couple times, which is our lightning round news. Here's how it works. Giulia and I have picked 5 headlines that we think are worth taking a look at. But the only way that we're going to get through 5 stories is if we time each other and actually keep ourselves under 1 minute for the explanation for each. So we'll get through the most crucial parts, then we're going to discuss them. Giulia, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready, John?
Oh, yeah. I'm so ready. I've even practiced this time, so I'm hopefully not going to go over. I'm ready to go. I believe you have the first one. Are you ready for me to count you in?
Yeah, you got your timer ready to go?
I'm ready. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
This one comes from some reporting by Christine DeLeon at The Oregonian, and they're talking about how Oregon's largest provider of Medicaid benefits, Care Oregon, has recently laid off 80 employees and got rid of 70 vacant roles due to worsening financial pressures. Care Oregon is based in Portland and manages Oregon Health Plan benefits for about 560,000 members, which is just below 40% of Oregon's Medicaid population. It's unclear which specific jobs were affected, but they said that the reductions impacted all levels of employment across the organization. And this is in response to some growing uncertainty regarding our national healthcare landscape due to pressures from the Trump administration, including the significant tax and spending bill signed into law by President Trump earlier this month. This includes, 5, quote, one of the largest 4, retrenchments 3, in federal I'm just gonna
1. Oh, you bonked.
I can't. It's okay. You get it.
This was a complicated one. I mean, in short, I think where you're going is we passed this bill, cut a bunch of Medicaid spending, and now because of that, Medicaid's getting cut.
Yeah.
Not the most surprising thing in the world, but not good and going to affect a lot of people for access to healthcare, which they need, right?
Yeah, and it makes sense why some of these things are even being done preemptively. People just don't know exactly how much needs to go to account for this because it is completely unprecedented. So I think the thought process makes sense, although it's devastating that so many people have to be affected because of it.
Well, thanks for kicking us off with a bummer.
Couldn't even get through it. It was such a bummer.
Do you want me to hit you with some good news?
Come on, give me something good, John. Hang on, let me get this. Okay, I'm ready for you and go.
Okay, so Damian Lillard, Trailblazer once again. Damian Lillard, superstar Portland Trailblazer, played 11 seasons with the team, but he was traded to Milwaukee back in 2023, which we all went, ugh. when that happened. Well, now he's coming back. He's got a new contract for $42 million over 3 seasons, although he's not going to probably be on the court for another year. He had Achilles tendon injury that was requiring surgery. That's kind of why Milwaukee let him go. So we're hoping to see him back on the court in the fall of 2026. But part of this is like, we love Dame as a basketball player, but what he said is that so much of why he wanted to come back was to be near his family. He has 3 children who live in Portland with his ex-wife. He had a press conference on Monday where he said, "It never felt right not being home. Through it all, I found my way back and just fortunate to be back with the group that I was with prior to leaving."
Oh, almost.
So close.
I love that you pointed that out, because when I saw this headline, that was the thing that stuck out to me the most. Where it was like, oh, closer to his kids. That's so cute.
Yeah. I mean, it's just exciting time for the Trailblazers with like the specter of a new owner, the specter of potentially a new arena, plus Damian Lillard coming back.
And also they're getting to play alongside, I mean, I guess just in the same world as now our WNBA team, which I think is awesome. It just makes it so that there's more of a basketball culture in Portland, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for another depressing one, John?
Yes, Giulia, take us away with another bummer, please.
All the heavy hitters for you.
I am ready to go in 3, 2, 1.
This one comes from some reporting by Alejandro Figueroa at OPB, and they're talking about how Willamette Valley Vineyard manager Moises Sotelo Casas will be deported to his home country of Mexico after being detained by ICE last month. So since being arrested in Newburgh in June, he's been held at a Northwest ICE processing center in Tacoma, Washington. And there has been a ton of public outcry over his case, which claims he first entered into the U.S. illegally in 2006 and that he had a criminal conviction for driving under the influence of alcohol in 1997. But OPB was not able to find any of the records of the charge through the courts, and ICE has not provided any proof of the charges either. Moises is a father, grandfather, and prominent industry leader, and is one of many people arrested by ICE in Portland over the past couple of months, while anti-ICE protests continue at their facility on the South Waterfront. Did I nail it?
You were right on the money with that one. Bravo. This is such a bummer. So you might remember when we talked with Pete Danko from the Portland Business Journal about a month ago about the wine industry and just about how much of a blow this was to Willamette Valley Vineyards. Because this is somebody who was like deeply respected and like well known throughout the wine industry, right?
Yeah.
This is somebody who'd like really sort of made a name for himself, was doing extraordinary work by all accounts. What I think Pete said at that point was that a lot of sort of vineyard workers are feeling this specter of fear because of this, and that they're really sort of going to work and going home and not leaving otherwise.
It's devastating. Like this situation, and there are so many other examples out there right now. I know one that's really circling the headlines is this case with a father who was dropping their child off at their preschool in Beaverton, was arrested in the parking lot after being followed to the school. And this man is Iranian and also a doctor. And what had happened was they were arguing with this man. I just watched the footage last night. And ICE was arguing with this man, and they were going to arrest him in front of the child at first. And the child was eventually picked up, but through these interactions, ICE ended up smashing through the window of the car as the man was getting out of the car to be arrested, because there is just so much lack of humanity in these interactions. I mention this because it applies to everyone right now, and the way that this is seeping into our community is really hard to capture, but it's everywhere, and it's really hard to hear.
Yeah, well said. Well, I want to get to a couple more headlines of the week, but first, let's take a quick break.
Paint Care has 3 simple rules to help you paint smarter. 1, buy only what you need. Determining the right amount of paint for your next project can be tricky, but tips like measuring your space and asking your local paint store for advice will help ensure you have enough for your project while minimizing waste. 2, use up what you have. Look around your house and find simple DIY projects where you can use up your paint. Or you could give away your leftover paint to friends, neighbors, or community groups who could benefit from it. 3, recycle the rest at convenient locations like your neighborhood paint store. Paint Care even offers direct pickups for households and businesses with more than 100 gallons of leftover paint. Learn more or find a paint drop-off site near you at paintcare.org/3simplerules. I am so excited to tell you about the North Coast Express. That's the new seasonal transit option connecting Portland to the most iconic destinations on the Oregon North Coast. On top of just getting to sit back and relax since you're not driving, all buses include free Wi-Fi and charging ports, onboard restrooms, panoramic windows and reclining seats, wheelchair-accessible lifts, and you can grab the bus from Portland Fridays through Sunday through the end of August. There's flexible return day ticketing, which lets you choose between a spontaneous day trip or a longer coastal stay. For more information like tickets, schedules, and the full route, go to visittheoregoncoast.com/express. That's visittheoregoncoast.com/express.
This episode of CityCast is sponsored by Babbel. Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start that journey today? You can start speaking a new language with confidence thanks to Babbel's conversation-based technique that quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. I'm CityCast CEO David Plotz, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel, just one of the 12 languages you can learn with it, including Dutch, French, Italian, which is going to be next for me, Turkish, and Russian. I love the interactive dialogues that Babbel has, which allow me to practice what I've learned right away, and also the speech recognition function, which makes sure I'm getting the pronunciation just right, which honestly, usually I'm not. Also, I love that Babbel's lessons always cover actual things that I talk about in the real world, like food, talking to people I've just met, and also food. Staying motivated to learn a new language has never been easier thanks to real-time feedback, progress trackers, and handy visualizations in only 10 to 15 minutes a day on Babbel's mobile app or website. So get talking with Babbel. I want you to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Unfortunately, I don't have good news to send you away with for my last headline either, but maybe we should just get into it and see if we can find a silver lining. Sound good?
We'll find something. I will get my timer out, and 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Fred Meyer is closing its Gateway Shopping Center location off 102nd Avenue in Northeast Portland. The closure isn't immediate. It's scheduled to happen sometime after September 20th. This is going to impact about 249 employees, although the company has said that all employees will be offered positions at other Fred Meyer stores. And of course, this just sort of comes back to a story we've been talking about for probably about a year. Fred Meyer and their parent company Kroger had been looking at this giant merger with Albertsons earlier this year. It was a proposed $24.6 billion deal, but a federal judge blocked it earlier this year. And the idea was that, like, it would create this antitrust situation where potentially there would be even more store closures if this deal had gone through. Of course, because that deal didn't happen, now Kroger's is having to cut costs. And this is the first impact that we're seeing here in Portland.
Nice.
Got it.
The thing that stuck out to me about this story was I had looked into it a little bit more, and there was a statement from somebody, one of the higher ups at Fred Meyer, that said, this is a quote, "This closure is part of a larger company-wide decision to run more efficiently and ensure the long-term health of our business," which to me freaks me out a little bit because it mirrors the perspective of what's going on at Care Oregon. And I feel like mirrors a lot of perspectives of different companies and organizations that are very scared of the future of their business because of what things are looking like right now on a national scale. So it just seems like I'm just seeing this everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and I should say, if anyone's wondering about like the Portland specificity here, Kroger did say that they're going to be closing about 60 stores across the country over the next 18 months. So it's not like this is a specific Portland problem. This really is a sort of big old corporate monster problem. But that doesn't necessarily make us feel any better, does it?
No, not at all.
All right, Giulia, you've been bringing the bummers all day. I want some good news for your last headline. You ready to go?
I got something kind of good. I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
This one comes from some reporting by Gosha Wozniaka at the Oregonian, and they're talking about how Portland's Permitting and Development Bureau is looking into a code amendment to establish a maximum indoor temperature standard for rental units. Yay. This means that landlords would be required to install ACs or heat pumps in units to stay within that standard. And the proposal is still in the early planning stages and is focused on providing solutions for making rental housing more livable during extreme weather, which has been more common over time due to climate change. And obviously, renters are very much for it, and property owners are against it, claiming it will impact housing affordability and development. Some say, quote, installation alone could cost $5,000 to $10,000 per unit, not including ongoing maintenance or necessary electrical panel upgrades. All the while, 14 people died in Multnomah County over the past 3 years due to excessive heat, and at least a quarter of renters still lack air conditioning in their homes.
1. Perfect. Right on the money. You even got a yay in there.
I'm really excited about this one, John. You know, I've been renting all of my time here in Portland.
Giulia lives in a little heat box.
The past 3 years, I live in a brick exterior building built 100 years ago. I'm on the top floor, and you wouldn't believe how hot it gets in here in the summertime. It's the thing that's kept me from having pets. It's kept me from having people over, sleeping at all during this season. It's pretty insane. At this point, it's a liability for people to rent under these conditions. So I'm pretty stoked about this.
I totally agree. I mean, in my last rental house, I was sort of doing the window unit roulette, which like just isn't safe. I'm sure I kind of damaged the windowsills. I definitely was throwing breakers all the time. It's just not a safe and sustainable way to live in a region where like we are definitely seeing hotter and hotter and hotter summers.
No, and I know what you mean, John. Like I have my AC unit going. I can't even blow dry my hair without that thing shutting the whole thing down. Like that's the only thing that can run in my place when that's going, and it still only gets my apartment down to like 80 degrees during peak heat. So
yeah, I love this as an idea. I mean, I definitely see how the implementation of this could be really, really messy. Especially like there are certain management companies that are going to have no problem with it, but I do believe that there are certain smaller landlords that are going to be really challenged by this, and it's going to raise rent for people, which from my perspective, I'm like, heck yeah, raise my rent and give me air conditioning. But I know that there's a lot of people that are in tougher situations that aren't going to be able to feel so enthusiastic about it. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But yes, hooray for AC. Hooray for universal AC.
Hooray.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to kick off the mailbag today, Giulia, with a note that we got on the back of our conversation from last week with Norther Emily, where we talked about weird stuff that you can find in the woods. Piles of abandoned cars, lava flows, ghost towns. Well, our friend Brian from Montevilla wrote in. Brian said, Oregon actually contains over 200 ghost towns, making it among the top states in the nation to visit forgotten history. You don't technically need to be completely abandoned to be a ghost town. At various times in recent history, Antelope was also considered a ghost town.
Ooh,
ghost towns abound, Giulia.
I love that. That episode was one of my favorites from Norther. I just think it touched on like all the different ways that she experiences the outdoors, which I love. And also someone like myself that loves the idea of just stumbling upon hidden treasures out in the woods. It was perfect for me.
Yeah. And they are everywhere. I will say, I know of a quote unquote ghost town that is like right by the Columbia Gorge. Right by one of the main waterfall hikes. So when the parking lot is full at the main parking lot, there's a ghost town like just down the hill. And there's always parking down there. So,
that's amazing. I love that.
It's a hot tip.
So I have one for you, John. This one's from listener Chris H. regarding a recent episode we put out about where to eat in Southwest Portland. And the subject was, what a fool believes. And they said, whoa, I went and got excited. Finally, you're looking at dining in Southwest Portland. You covered downtown. You got as far south and west as Goose Hollow. Downtown is not southwest, except to the post office. Anyone who lives in Southwest Portland knows they mean the hills, where no street runs straight for more than 5 blocks, where biking is work, not play, where we have many acceptable restaurants, thank you very much. In Multnomah, you'll have Yala, Fat Kitty, Fat City, Marco's, Odo and Anita's, Taste Bud, Tito's Taquitos, Zinc, Down to Earth Cafe, and more. In Hillsdale, there's Seasons and Regions, Pizzacata, Gigi, Casa Colima, and more. And there are places on Beaverton Hillsdale Highway or out Barber, Show, Thai Orchid, Muchas Gracias, in Garden Home, and Raleigh Hills. Walter Mitty's has been here since Moses. So send a food critic our way and blast us for our pedestrian tastes. Love the podcast, Chris H. I had to read that whole thing.
Some deep Southwest knowledge coming our way. Chris, let me talk to Chris. Chris H., thank you for representing your part of the city with so much love and care and meticulousness. A lot of these places I know, some of them are new to me, though. I've never done Fat Kitty. I've never done Taste Bud. Yeah, I'm going to get some of these on my own personal list and check them out.
Have you done Fat City? There's Fat Kitty and Fat City.
Fat Kitty, Fat City, yeah.
We will have to do another episode that goes deeper into that region.
Yeah, and it wasn't the only person sort of coming back on that episode with some suggestions of places we missed, right?
Yeah, there was another word from listener Jim S., and they said, I can't believe a discussion of good eating in downtown Portland doesn't mention Higgins. I mean, there was talk about a closed Mexican place by the Old Mary's location, but not Higgins. Really? And I think it's hilarious that this listener really defined that episode as a downtown Portland episode, which I think really proves listener Chris H's point.
Yeah. Speaking of that closed Mexican place, we also got a third email specifically about that, but from Stacy G talking about Santeria. And I just want to read this anecdote as well. I was delighted to hear that I was not the only one to have a formative experience in Santeria/Mary's Club. And in case you missed it, this is like a Mexican restaurant, but the bathroom was like in the strip club next door. It's a whole thing. Here's what Stacey had to say. I'd only been in Portland for about 2 weeks after moving from Wyoming in 2015. New friends that I had made took me to this little Mexican place downtown. No one prepared me for the bathroom experience. Upon entering the ladies' room, I encountered a pair of very scantily clad women who were sharing in some illicit substances. I politely declined their offer for a bump and went back to my table. It is still one of my favorite Welcome to Portland stories.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
Welcome to Portland, Stacey G. And I know you've been here for 10 years, but circa 2015.
I love that this person's new friends were like, nah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't need to give you a heads up. That's hilarious. Gosh. Okay, I have one more for you, John. This next one is from listener Rick T regarding the viral Portland Moments episode we recently re-aired. And they said, really sad that I Like Turtles didn't make the list, especially given the animal theme you were going with, the whale and slime eels. And then they sent us a link to I Like Turtles, which I know you and I have both seen before.
Yes.
But I'm going to play that clip right now just so we can redeem ourselves.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're great, zombie. And good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.
In case there's anyone out there who hasn't caught the clip, the kid is like wearing the most amazing zombie makeup and then deadpans that line.
That's it.
It's it.
Just out on the Portland waterfront. This was almost like 20 years ago now, which is wild. Yeah. But you're right, listener. We also got another message from listener NKJ that wrote in regarding the same episode with the message that just said, I like turtles. Great show. So
even when we finished taping that one, we were like, we've only scratched the surface of viral moments here in Portland. So we've got to get another one of those episodes in our queue.
Yeah, we'll do a round 2 for sure.
Awesome. Well, Giulia, thanks so much for breaking down the news and going through the mailbag with me.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Well, that's all for us today here on CityCast Portland, but thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell one of your friends about it or leave us a rating or a review? We'll be back tomorrow with much more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.